Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Art Whisper 88. Today is a tribute to Catalan artist Joan Miró, and I am reading from his website. He was born in 1893, and he was also involved in sculpture and ceramics. He was born in the seaport city of Barcelona, and much of his work was influenced by the scenic seaside town. His father was a watchmaker, and his mother worked as a goldsmith, which meant that he was exposed to the arts and working with various forms of art from a young age in his home. I made the same mistake as many people do in pronouncing his name. I thought it was Joan, spelled Joan, but the Catalan pronunciation is really Joan, and the Miro has an accent on the last letter, so it's Miro. So anyway, I will take some inspiration from his work, which I admire a lot. And curiously enough, in his lifetime, he refused to be called an abstract painter because he said that his paintings represented certain things and had certain meanings. Taking a lesson from that, I will proceed to interpret his work. Okay, now that I have Mr. Miro's biography, let's start rolling. Now, the reason why I admire his work so much is his use of circles and symbols. And even if he denies that he's not an abstract painter or an artist, his symbols and images are universal across all cultures. So this is Mars Black by Blickcrylics, and as usual I will be using my color shaper. Now this time I'll be using a 1.5 inch Now, to add a little twist to this usual procedure, I will place a red dot. Now the question is, what kind of red? So I want to use a very primary bright red. Here we go, cadmium red. Okay, so I will allow this to dry before I place a second layer. So I will switch on my ceiling fan and wait a few minutes. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes under the fan. So now I have this Lukas, this is called sand. It's like a beige color. So I will place some of it. Certain spots. Oops. Sometimes these tubes tend to explode because the air pressure builds up inside the bottle. Okay. This is Raw Sienna by Blickcrylics, which I find to be a very good paint to pick up layers. It's because it has a lot of extenders. Now there's a little bit of smearing with the first and second layers, but that's okay. It is not going to be as sharply defined as Mr. Miro's work, but in a way I want to do this as a reinterpretation and not as a copy. All right. To use my silicone tool to make some marks. So this way I am applying my own signature style. There we go. Again, I will be using my favorite Richeson printmaking paper. This is 22 by 30. And it is a very economical choice because of the sheer volume of prints that I make. I want to keep costs down. Okay, so I'm applying a firm pressure with my hand, and I'm paying attention to the edges. Sometimes the edges don't transfer well because they dry quickly. So I'll leave this on for about 5 minutes and turn on the ceiling fan. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes under the ceiling fan. Let's see how we made out here. This is really exciting. I just hope the paper doesn't tear. It happens sometimes. Very cool. It really has that mid-century look. That's what I was aiming for. Okay. I think it captures the colors of Spain, don't you think? So I will air dry this, and I might do another one. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, I'm ready to do the second one. I was so happy with the first one that I'm going to give it another try. Again, I'm using my color shaper to make big circle. I'm going to have more patches of red. Okay, so I will air dry this before I put the second layer. Okay, I'm going to use Naples yellow as a pickup. Okay, I know there's going to be a bit of smearing with the black, but the result might be very interesting. So, keeping my fingers crossed. Okay. Again, I will leave it for 5 minutes. It will give me a chance to tidy up here. Since my table is very small, I have to keep rearranging. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. Let's see how we made out. Oh, I think it's a good transfer. The paper comes away more easily. And surprisingly, the image is a little clearer than the first one. It's just a bald spot here. All right, I like that. Very cool. I think it captures the spirit of Joan Miró without being too literal. And that's what I intend inspiration pieces to be. You don't copy an artist, but you take whatever appealing aspects of it and adapt it to your artwork. And the outcome is something that is entirely your own. So anyway, I will air dry both of these pieces and I will recap. Okay, everybody, here's my favorite part of this video where I get to show you the finished piece. Now this is the first pull. And let me show you close up. You can see the mark of the color shaper. It creates these very unique marks. Let me put this to one side and put the inspiration piece. Just to show you some kind of similarity. They're not supposed to look alike, but there's some kind of continuity. Now here is the second piece. I think I like this piece much better. It's a little bolder. And the definition is clearer. Now I found out what this bald spot is. It's a slight depression in my gel plate. There are two ways to do this. I could touch it up with some of the Blickcrylic, or I can just leave it as is. So I'll think about that. But that happens to gel plate sometimes. Over time, the surface is not very even, and this happens so where the ink or the paint does not transfer. Again, I'll put this to the right side and have the inspiration piece on the left. So I hope you like this video. Please share this with your friends. Give me a thumbs up. I encourage you to look up the biography and the scope of work of Joan Miró. I think he is greatly underappreciated outside of Spain. I know that he is a worldwide famous artist, but I think he deserves much more recognition because he was doing all this very forward-thinking artwork in his time. I'm talking about the 1920s and the 1930s. He was way, way ahead of his time. And I think he deserves much more recognition. So thank you so much for watching and for subscribing. Please check out artwhisper88.com, which is my storefront. And the sales of all these pieces help to keep my channel going. Thank you, and I hope to see you next time.